Welcome everyone to the Freestyle Cast, episode 1.
Oh,
I am your host, Matrix Lord 212. I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
hello, one and all.
All right, so this is going to be a new type of podcast. We're experimenting, and we got Ben coming in. What's up, Ben? Hello, Ben. All right, this is a new type of podcast. It's called the Freestyle Cast, episode 1. And what we're going to do is we are going to focus on a member. And Scott, you've been chosen.
Oh,
So what I
thank
want
you.
you to,
I'm the,
what I
I'm the
want you to do,
sacrificial lamb here. I'm the guinea
yeah,
pig.
you're the test subject. Okay. So I want you to basically describe your title as the blind dyslexic and your website, stuff like that, and your causes.
All right. All right. Basically, the blind dyslexic was derived several years ago when I was living in around 93, 94. I was listening to a local radio station in North Carolina, and they were doing a countdown show. And they were saying, they told me, okay, this is the artist of the song, this is the song, and blah blah blah. And when I did it, I was brain farting because I wasn't ready to have to go through that. And I said, oh, pardon me, I'm just being a blind dyslexic. Fast forward to about 2008, 2009, and I had the Scott Show, which I was doing on YouTube, and a handful of stuff that I did was called The Blind Dyslexic. Oh, blind dyslexic at the movies, blind dyslexic news, something like that. Something went funky. And I had to restart the whole YouTube thing again, but this time under the blind dyslexic.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Now, fast forward maybe 2-3 years ago, and I started doing a blog thing, and I tried posting on creating it through different sites like Wix, but now I'm on webs called The Blind Dyslexic, and it basically talks about it's pretty much like entertainment news, regular news of the day, posting of funny little anecdotes, and as well as what I've done that day in daily blogs. And you can also catch up like a little today in history, funny facts, and all that.
Okay.
And it's just something I've just started doing. And occasionally, I'll admit, I've been lazy. I'll let it lapse a few days. But I try to keep everything else, like the entertainment stuff and these little broadcasts up to date as much as possible. But it's just a fun little thing I do.
Do you choose a song every day, or?
No. I'm trying to do so, but something's gone funky with, I don't know if it's my computer or if it's the site, but I try to, but it won't let me put a song down. So I've got to put like a link to the song that I want.
Now, is your website, is it archived? Like, in other words, is it by date where you can go back like last year and you can see stuff that you posted?
No.
Oh, it erases?
Pretty much, yeah. Because what I'll do is each day I'll update it, and I'm thinking strongly I might have a back page at some point in time of just links to the storylines I did. Maybe not the full-on article, but just links to certain sites. And another thing I'm trying to get set up on is a thing called the Cliffhanger Saga. And It's just like the old television serials, how it states something, it leads you down a road, cut you off at a cliffhanger, and you got to tune in an additional week to find out what happens and cut you off at another cliffhanger. And that's slowly being worked on.
Now, that website, did you have to pay for that, or is it a free website?
No. Well, I updated it. I had to pay for a little bit 2 years ago because I wanted to also upload videos. And in order to upload videos, I have to have a paid a premiere thing. But luckily, it's like a one-time one-time pay thing, and I don't have to do anything like that. So, but what I have been doing is when I do one of my little blind dyslexic walkabouts for Facebook, I'll upload it to YouTube, put the needed information in. That way I can put it as a video deal as well.
Now, why don't you explain to the viewers what your walkabout is, basically? People don't even know what that is.
Okay, well, the blind dyslexic or TBD walkabout is pretty much like what Joe does or somebody else does on YouTube. They'll go around Tulsa. I'll go around Tulsa going, oh, this is what I've done today. And I'll blabber for about a few minutes, but I look back later and go, oh, I didn't know I go 20 minutes. But yeah, it's just pretty much just like a little walkabout Tulsa to show what's going on or what I've been doing.
That's right. Like I do my own thing too. I do it like morning with Matrix Lord or moving with Matrix Lord or whatever. And I'm like walking through the city or it's in the morning in my commute, or maybe I'm talking about news while I'm walking. So yeah, we all do our own vlog or whatever the heck we call it. Although I just quote mine, depending on what time of day it is. That's what I tell you.
What I'm trying to do too is get back to doing like the blind dyslexic at the movies, TBD. And it's just that I'll get started talking about a movie and it's like, ooh, I'm giving too much away. Or I'll get it just perfect and then halfway down, go, this just does not sound as good as I want it. And just totally delete the thing.
Now, what is the things that you are concerned with that you talk about on your blog or on your website? You're very big on basically, the Pledge of Allegiance and America and veterans and heroes at home. You want to explain that to the people? Yeah,
ever since this whole national anthem thing started, granted, I understand people have the right to protest. Don't get me wrong. But just like everything, you can't tell me, you can't put your feelings aside for 2 and a smidge minutes to stand and do the national anthem. Even if you want to feign it, fine. Feign your concern, but just not doing it is angering people even more. And if I find another news story that I think is important, like maybe we've got a sex offender. Getting off subject just real quick, when America's Most Wanted used to be on, I had a thing called Cancer of the Week, and I'd find the vilest sex offender, and I'd post it in that manner. And that's what I'm going to try to do as well on TBD, the TBD and TBD news as well. But so far, I haven't been able to find something like that. But yeah, I'll just post anything that has to do with news or I feel is newsworthy.
Right. Now, are you a veteran or did your people?
No, I've never served. I've never served. But as old as I am, I was raised in the manner in which you respect your country, those who served, and because up until maybe middle school or so, in grade school, we all stood and said the Pledge of Allegiance.
Absolutely.
And to me, if you don't like, I know I'm going to sound like I'm beating a dead horse or running down something, but if you don't like the country or you don't like the flag, get out. No one prevented you from coming in. Nobody's stopping you from the exit. So if you don't like it, leave.
The only time somebody should not be able to stand at attention at the flag is if they have an illness where they're so ill that there's no energy to stand, but yet they could sit down and they could pledge of allegiance like that. But the guy that got shot in Vegas was in the hospital bed, and when Trump came, he stood up, as much pain as he was in, because he respected the president, regardless of whether he is from the same political party or not, regardless of if he even voted for him. He was raised to have respect for the president. If he comes to see you, you stand at whatever. And again, I was raised that way too. Whether I voted for the president or not, if I come into contact with the president, it's all respect. Thank you for inviting me to the White House, blah, blah, blah. And, stuff like that. Now, when I was little, I had wrote a letter, like a whole campaign. Like I had this big thing when I was in elementary school about saving the whales. And it's funny, but I sent a letter to the president, which was Ronald Reagan, and I got a thing.
I remember.
You know, I got a thing signed from Ronald Reagan. You know, thanking. You know, like it's a presidential signature.
Yeah.
And my dad, when my dad passed away, he got there was a thing from the president that signed over, you know, for my dad thanking him for his service and stuff like that when he passed on. So that was, I think it was at the time, I think it was Bush that signed a thing. So that was really nice. And so yeah, I was raised with different values too. You know, and my dad was a veteran also. He was served in Vietnam, and you know, he did a lot of things in his lifetime. So I was raised that way, regardless.
Yeah.
You voted for the president or not, if you're for them, you got to respect. So my whole philosophy on that, people may skew things and think, oh, he's for that person or not, but it's not the case. It's just it's the thing about respect. That's all.
Yeah.
Although I don't agree
if
with
you don't respect the person, at least respect the position.
I mean, in America, you're allowed to.
And so often it's looking like they're more disrespected towards the position than the man itself.
I mean, you're freedom of speech in America. You know, people protest, they potentially protest. You cannot agree with the president. Doesn't mean you're against. You know, yeah. So that's, you know, it is what it is. But so now you are a writer too, like you doing the Cliffhanger saga.
Yeah. I do a lot of writing. I still remember being in high school and senior's last day, I left the teacher at the time of the perfect cliffhanger. And she jokingly said, I'm going to hold you back so you can fix it. Of course, in my mind, I get like, hell, I'm going to leave you with another damn cliffhanger.
Yeah, there you go.
And I still got that journal back there. About a few times I'll look back upon it, I'm going, and we've all done that. We've written something in the past and something we think is such a marvelous thing. And it's like, what the hell did I say?
Yeah, you know, it's funny, but I never,
up on words.
I didn't realize in my yearbook that, like, the student in my high school yearbook, they say a little thing, and I never wrote poems, ever. My mom was always a poet, and my mom, rest her soul, was always writing poetry. And I wrote a poem for my mom, like because I know she likes poetry, so it was like my high school yearbook. And then years and years and years later, when I actually did a book, my first book was supposed to be sci-fi, but I wound up doing poetry. And I guess it's in the genes, because my mom was a writer. My dad was, besides being a veteran, you know, and he served his country, he was also in Wall Street. He was also a photographer and a writer for the General American newspaper. So I got the best of both worlds with them in my genes, and my dad and my mom both being writers. And I also love the camera, so I'm doing videos with that and taking pictures, which I'm not really a professional photographer, but it's like funny though, like, you know, you are your parents, you know. And I was glad, at least before my parents died, like that my mom got to see what I've done with my books, and that was like an honorable thing. I really am happy that she accepted and liked, and gave me confidence to continue with writing and stuff. It was good. All right, Ben, you got any questions for Scott about his stuff that he does, like his website or anything?
Not really.
Not really. Scott, do you now? There's also, you have charity stuff that you support.
Yeah,
there's certain charities that you support all the time, right? So
yeah, there's Heroes at Home.
Which explain Heroes at Home for people who don't know.
Heroes at Home is one for the military folks out there where I work, which I will not disclose here.
Yes.
They started post. They did that maybe. Let's see. I started at this particular place in 2002. They started promoting that around a year later, or about a year or 3 years later. and plus when
I
it
used to
stayed on my
always
little
donate. I used to always donate in my store
Yeah.
that every year, all the time. I used to donate.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, that's one thing I try to do. That or Salvation Army. But then on my walkabouts, I say, if you're ever in blah, 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 or on their website, please donate.
Right.
And then there's also the Cancer Sucks charity that does cancer. My mom passed away from cancer around 2010.
Right.
And it's just like, when that happens, it's like one of those slow things to where, yes, when she passed, you feel bad, but at least you had her for X number of years.
Unfortunately,
there's one thing that I will remember. Yeah. The one thing I'll hold treasure the most is she got me my first Doctor Who book.
Oh.
My very first Doctor Who book, that one of those little pinnacle things.
Yeah.
She had gotten me Android Invasion. Okay. So not only is that cherished due to it's my first book, but it's also doubly cherished because it was my mom had bought me. So I thought, I'm holding on to that. I would love to have at least got an autograph from one of the Doctor Who fans. But if it gets, the Doctor Who people, if it does, it does. It doesn't, it doesn't. Just so long as I've got that thing back there.
Yeah. I understand. Like, I've had witnessed quite a few of my family members suffer from cancer to where they were boned, and my uncle and my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
It just, there's so many different members that it's happened to, that it's very, very hard. I've even had to say goodbye and pull the plug, and it is destroys. And that is why that's my charity too. Like, I have, like, every year donated to American Cancer Association. They had like Cancer Society, which was like my uncle had lung cancer, and there's a whole bunch. I donated to that, but I also donated to Making Strides with breast cancer, because I had family members that had that too, and that's how me and Sharon got together. Is because I used to always donate to her every year, and we knew each other from junior high school, so that's how we got together. Because one day I just paid my regular donation to her, and I just took out to dinner.
There you go.
That was it. I was like, I'm taking.
She's a founder, and that's what you thought.
I'm taking you out to dinner. I'm gonna give you a donation, but I'm taking out to dinner. So that's exactly that's how that started. So she does the walk every year, and she gets up dressed up in pink, and she does the walk, and she generates money, and she does a great, fantastic job. And I may donate a little thing, but she really raises thousands, and I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of Sharon for doing that every year. So, all right, we're going to get out of this cast. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the Freestyle cast. I don't know if it's going to return. It was something created on the spur of the moment. But if there are members of ours that don't mind to be talking about their personal stuff or their likes or dislikes, then we will continue. If not, but I won't spring it on anybody else. I sprung it on him at the last minute, which wasn't fair, but I know he likes talking about his stuff. So, all right, Blind Dyslexic, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Ben. Take care, bye.